Hello and welcome back. Second video on the Meg. Now, I've done a little walk around on the last one, so I thought this one I'd actually figure out what on earth I've bought and what potential issues there are. Now, as I said in the last video, the cruise control doesn't work, it's a Cat D and all of that sort of stuff. There's some other issues that have arisen, such as the splitters broke. The exhaust vibrates off of everything, and there's some other things, like it drives off weird, but I'm sure we're going to find that out. I'm pretty sure this side's got a ball joint gone. So let's go around the car and actually figure out, firstly, the spec of it, what needs doing to it before a potential track day on the 20th of May, I think, and how much it's going to cost me. But first things first, let's fix this splitter, because that's nice and easy. Now, I'm going to use something that the Japanese call drift stitching, which consists of cable ties. Now, if you come close and actually have a look, there already is some cable ties in there. There's a reason why I'm only just chucking cable ties around it, because this won't be staying on here for very long. How the hell have you done that? There will be another video, and it's going to look a bit more racy. That one just isn't going to work, is it? How has he done that? Going really well with this, isn't it? I can already tell the comments from the Renault enthusiasts saying, just buy another one, they're probably 20p on eBay. Why would you do that when you can make a masterpiece like this? It's only going to come off tomorrow when I go over the speed bumps at work, so it's kind of, what's the word, doing it in vain? Look at that, just looks shit, doesn't it? Yeah, that's fucking lovely, isn't it? There you go, look at that. It's like it's meant to be. Look, you've even got cable ties spare.
Really lovely.
Hang on a minute. Let's finish the look. Part French, part Japanese. Lovely. Right. Let's start off with the side that I already think there's going to be problems on. We'll get the backup one out.
Trust the old Halfords.
Trust. Big up Halford, speaking again. Look at the state of these discs. Fuck. Right then. Front left. Now, when I'm driving down the road, it does feel like it veers off. And in my experience, it's either ball joint, track rod end, inner tie rod. So, we're going to find out. The shocks, I don't know if you can see, the joys of winter is telling whether it's oil or water. We say that's oil there, so it's probably misting. I'd love to know what lowering springs are like. Oh, there we go. cooksport.co.uk.
Cup or cook?
Huh?
Cup or
no,
cook?
cooksport.co.uk. Lovely. So it's got those lowering springs on it. If you have a look around here, Mr. Cameraman, I don't know if you can see it.
Really hard to see that, isn't it? You'll have to take my word for it. But you can see the discs are scoring.
And the brake pads are starting to get a bit low. Now, when you go around a corner, there is a bit of a noise, which is probably the wear marker on the disc, on the pad, hitting the disc. There you go. Can you hear that? There is a side-to-side knock there. Not up and down. I'm going to go with the fact that that's probably a track rod. Oh, I just marked that. Never mind. So yeah, I'm going to say that is an inner tie rod end. So let's let's go to the board. As you can see, we've very professionally now got a whiteboard, so now we don't have to draw any more cars. Now, oh, hang on, stand by. Oh dear, that's really bad, isn't it? So, I'm going to split this into two. This side is the spec, and this side is the faults. Oh. So near side, front, inner tie rod. Lovely. So tie rod discs are scored with a bit of a lip on them, and the pads are getting low. Now spec. Now I'd like to think it's got Cook Sport springs all the way around. If it hasn't, it's going in the bin. Oh yeah, I'll put a bit of a misting on the shock as well. We're going to find out really how cheap this Megane was. At the end of the video, you can tell me if I got a good deal for this or if I overpaid. Now I'm going to go underneath the car a little bit. Now I'll take the wheel off first. Now, if you've watched the shorts, you will see I had an incident with a curb because I'm stupid. So, it's got a freshly powder coated wheel on there, and a brand new tyre. Bright yellow braided brake lines. What brand are these then? Why is there no branding on this? You can see. That means purple bushes. It's got polybush lower arms and some form of braided brake lines, which I'll come back with the brand. I don't know what brand of braided brake lines they are, but they're yellow ones, along with purple ones are normally Powerflex, so we're going to go with Powerflex. Again, assuming that both sides would be done, because who polybushes one side of the car, not the other. Also, I'm going with Powerflex because I've already been told it's got Powerflex engine mounts, but it's not going on the list until we see it. Now, I've got my trusty bar here, so just to double check everything is good on this side. As I said, was dragging along. Yes, ignore the costume change as well. Now, Megane's have got something a bit different. That's lovely. Megane's have got something a bit different than most cars. They got what's known as a swivel hub, which are also apparently very common for going wrong. I can confirm that the left to right knock is the inner tie rod. Yeah, so the setup here, you've got a link here, and the lower arm onto the hub, there. Then you've got the drop link which comes off of the strut to the roll bar, which I was hoping it'd have a uprated roll bar, but it doesn't. And then this is the hub. Then the swivel part of the hubs are in here. So you've got a big bolt here. Sorry Kyle, I'm making you do loads of work, you know, mate. And then you've got another bolt down the bottom, I think. Or is it part of the ball joint? No, it might be part of the ball joint. 2 seconds. Let me confirm this. No, I am right. You've got another bolt just above the ball joint, and that is the swivel hub. No idea why. The only car I've seen this sort of setup on is, I think, these, and I think Mercedes as well. But apparently they go wrong. So I'll throw a bar in there and just. There's no play in it. I don't really know what you've got to check on them, to be honest with you. But there's no knocking or no banging or anything like that. It's just the fact that when you go off of, I don't know, down certain roads, you can just feel the front left just feel off. So that's the front left side done. Lovely old job. It's going to get a bit repetitive because I would like to think the other side is going to be exactly the same. So what I'll do is I'll time lapse that side, and then if there's any other faults, we'll film it.
So onto the other side, checking the shock, checking the spring. The spring does match, and there's a slight misting of oil around the shock. It's a bit of side to side play, so we'll have a look at that. Get the wheel off. Brake pads are getting low this side. Now there's a metal outer and then the friction material. The friction material, as you can see, is getting low. So if you ever have a metal on metal grinding, that means that you've worn through all your friction material. Score marks on the discs, as you can see, and the minor lip, so they'll want replacing as well when we do the pads. Just getting in there, having a look. Did find the inner tie rod knocking on that side as well. Again, going around with the bar, checking all the ball joints, making sure everything's all good.
Tie rod. So far, we're doing quite well. I mean, those two need doing, which will also now need that it needs tracking, which is bloody lovely. What you could do is string. That'd be entertaining.
Right, as you can see, the sump is pretty clean. There's a bit of a misting, but we're not too worried about that. What we are more concerned about is the fact that there is a drive shaft oil leak. It's really hard to see, but yeah.
We'll add it to the list. Drive shaft oil leak on the off side. Get the wheel on and move on to the back, where the real issues start. Inspecting underneath the car, I can confirm, front mount, there was also, I don't know if it's Powerflex or not, so I'll just put dog bone, upgraded. Yep. So if you don't know what a dog bone mat is, it goes between either the gearbox and the subframe, or the engine and the subframe, and it stops when you, how do you say it? When you pull away, when you let off, when you change your gear, it just stops the engine shunting forwards and backwards. If you ever driven a car without that, or with a really bad bush, you'll feel the whole lot jolting. That is the purpose of that. So that is another reason why, when it starts up and runs, it vibrates everything. Because the engine, because it's got a poly bush in it, and is that what's classed as a solid one? Nah. It's got a hardened rubber bush in it, so obviously that's even less vibration in there. So before it gets too wet, we'll spin the Meg round and big booty. Little sound check. I did clean this with a baguette the other day, but it didn't really work. Scorpion back box.
Sit there,
Nah, you can't see it. Just about?
Yeah.
But the main issue with this is that, I can tell you, gets very annoying, and this tip is constantly sat on the bumper. So, and there's also a 200 sports cat in it, which is just going to make my life so much easier with MOT. Anyway, let's get the back end up and let's find out why that is rubbing. I'm hoping it's just got a little U-clamp or something like that. I can just undo, move it around a touch. The back end has got the handbrake on. But it's fine, we can still make do, because I don't want it rolling away. Actually, I'll take it off. Watch this turn into, you know that guy who's doing his brake?
I wouldn't do.
Right, safety first. Now, that corner is beautiful. That shock's a bit soft. Cook Sport springs on the back. Again.
Oh, it's that side. There you go. Oh, yeah. Handing up. You can see up there, the back box pipe is sat on the body and rattling away. Springs are nice. Look at that exhaust. Look how big it is. Outrageous. Shocks don't look that old, but they are misting at the back. Ever so slightly. For all the viewers at home, this is what's known as beam suspension. Simply because there's a beam. It's not independent or anything like that. You've got one big beam that controls both wheels.
So obviously we've got exhaust knocking on the body. I have just checked, and I'm not going to put the camera under there because of how we've got the car. You'll have to take my word for it. The rear beam is also polyblushed. There we go. Do you know what I didn't do while we had the car front way around? Didn't do the engine. We're going to have to do that quick. This is a bit annoying. Open the bonnet on this, you got to do that. Now, whether I'm forgetting something. If you look down there used to be a thing in there, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Never mind. So, as I said in the last video, it has got MTC piping, so turbo, intake pipe, forge, dump valve, I'm going with. Piping, all of that good stuff. Forge, what's that? That looks like a map sensor holder. Nice little touch. So somebody has spent at some point some money on this vehicle. So yeah, over here, as you can see now, RFX mount. So I've just had a look to check what the actual level of the coolant is, and on the side here you can see the bottle's slightly bulged and it's cracking. So, especially for a track day, that is going on the board. So, get the pen out. I'm going to put deteriorating because I don't really know what else to put it. Got the engine mounts. I'll just put MTC piping. That's not mainly turbo intake pipes and all that sort of thing. MTC induction kit. I'm going to go with forge dump valve, which makes all the good noises. There is another fault on here which is going to take a bit of investigating. Now, when I drove it here, I noticed it more than other times, and it was when I was coming down a hill. I was braking, and no, I was just starting to depress the clutch and brake. The brake pedal went hard. So that is going to be an interesting one. Now, if you look at the state of that brake fluid, my first guess is, can you see it? Yeah, it's a bit dirty. Dirty brake fluid. That'll need some form of investigating. I've just noticed that there was something dripping off the engine, and I did get a bit scared. It was watery, but the scuttle panel drains are leaking. Under here, you'll have to take my word for it because you probably can't see it. There's a felt liner which comes off the scuttle panel. The water's just overflowing in there, and I'll just put brake. So that, for the time being, is a brief look over faults we've got, faults we need to address, the spec we currently have. Now, judging by this spec, you can tell me whether the £2,400 that I paid for this, I will highlight the fact that it is a Cat B. You tell me whether, with that spec, the rest of the bodywork is generally quite good. Obviously, it's been painted in the wrong colour, the rear 3/4 panel, which might address, might not. It's a track car and a daily, so it's not going to be a showpiece. The showpiece is here, which still is looking very sorry for itself. It's fine. We'll get to that. That is the spec, and they are the immediate faults. There are some other things that I am just going to chuck on there as kind of a... We'll do the to-do list in a different colour. Oh, I was going to do white on the whiteboard, but that's a bit sick. Hang on, we've got yellow somewhere. Oh dear. Can you see that on the camera?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to full service it. Oil filter, plugs. Obviously it's got a foam filter, so it doesn't need an air filter. We'll just check that it's not the foam hasn't broken down or anything like that. So oil filter, plugs, see if it's got a fuel filter. If it's got a fuel filter, it probably wants one. And then brake fluid. So I'll put plus BF. Semi-slicks. So obviously this is a daily stroke track car. Now I don't want to be spending loads of money on it, so I was kind of thinking along the lines of going with setting a budget, including buying a car, of around 3 grand, something like that, not spending that much money. So encompassing that and that, when I say semi-slicks, I'm going to try and find, probably get moaned at, a part worn set of semi-slicks. By that I mean they've still got like 5mm of tread on them. They're quite good. So if anybody has got any 225 40 18 semi-slicks, drop me a DM on Instagram, put that there. It's also in the description. And that's kind of where we're at. The next few videos might be on the 36, might be on the Meg, we'll see. We've got a list to do on this, and there's also a list to do on this before Players in June. If you're going to Players Classic in June, you'll see this. If you're going to Retro Ride, wow. If you're going to Retro Rides Weekender, you'll also see this on the auto inspection stand, provided we get it done in time. But that's it. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. As always, thank you for the feedback with my Hamlin videos. It's been mint. The Focus won't be coming out for a while. It will just be on solely on these two. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, sound. We'll catch you in the next one. Hopefully, depending on when it is and what it is.